Night hammock tradition from childhood until now. It has been many years since some people still wonder why the old people always tell their children to untie the hammock before sunset or the buffalo to the barn. I also did not know this story before and also asked the old people about it. He also told me about it as follows. 2008 was a time when new technologies in furniture were not as developed as they are today. Like under the house. When that day came when strange things happened. The old people in the village were afraid and did not even dare to hang a hammock during the day. Aunt Thea, who sells pastries at the market near her house, always gets up in the dark to make cakes. And in front of her house there is a hammock attached to a tree with a stall nearby because she keeps her mother at home. He swings his grandson and sells gas every time he goes to the market for cakes. Sometimes, on that day, a villager passed away, who was known as an elder with a virtuous path who knew how to help the villagers in all disputes and grievances, so all the villagers went to help organize the ceremony all night. Uncle saw a flashlight coming from Ming Fia's kitchen, so he went in to call Ming Fia. Do you go to the festival in the village? Ha, and what are you going to do that night? I'm busy making cakes and leaving tomorrow morning. Anyway, I think goodbye, yes. Uncle Say walked away with his egg-colored flashlight. The atmosphere at that time was very quiet, but instead heard the sound of the dogs chasing the whole village. Then all of a sudden the dogs stopped, but the dogs at Ming Fia's house started to drain differently than usual. Ming Fia was very surprised. The thief stole his chickens and came out. There was nothing. He tried to chase and beat his dog, but his dog continued to drain. He had no choice. So he came to sit and make cakes. Later, the stench made Aunt Fia almost choke to death. Then the hammock tied to the tree in the house began to swing alone, with no wind at all. Aunt Fia saw the shadows near the hammock. Then he walked closer and saw an old woman sitting in a hammock with his back to her. Aunt Fia asked, "Where did you come from all night? Did you not go to the festival with them?" Even though Aunt Fia asked a few dozen questions, she still did not answer, but after a while, the woman turned to Aunt Fia. Aunt Fia, trembling hands and feet, almost urinating because the woman did not have a face. Only the mouth that smiled at her was scary. The next day, Pula's house sells liquor and drugs near the pagoda fence. In the evening, he often picks up his wife at the factory, leaving his 3-year-old child to sleep on a hammock in the liquor store when he and his wife return home. They secretly came and whispered, "Who is this girl who has been swinging your child since you went out to get your wife's mess, your mother-in-law?" "No, where is my child? Let him sleep alone, my mother is at home." "No." We seem to be wondering. Grandma Hong called not to talk, but turned around, but did not turn around. Now ask your child to see who is swinging it. Very much because the person swinging the baby is Grandma Pen, who just died recently. And the baby says that one grandma is waiting for the baby to wake up. She will have to sleep in a hammock because she has a sore waist. The news also reached the children of the deceased recently. He said that his mother was very much in love with the hammock when he was alive, so even though he passed away, he was still busy with the hammock, so every day sink. You should all untie the hammock, because not only the soul of his mother sitting, it can also have ghosts, monsters, ghosts, big bellies, who like to hammock and even make your children cry out of fear. Those inhumans. Since then, the elders have always told their children not to tie a hammock at night, not to sleep in a hammock at sunset, may not be able to get up, the ghost oppresses or the floor or encounters any bad things in your house.